6 up-and-coming brokers, 6 ambitious candidates, all with one aim: to be crowned Broker Apprentice 2017. Having left their teams behind, it's the first individual challenge of the Broker Apprentice 2017. Each of the 6 contestants has to impress AXA's Ryan Burbeck, Head of Real Estate, and Alistair Stewart, Marketing and Broker Development Director. They'll be looking for a marketing campaign that AXA could back to promote its real estate offering.
Morning.
Today's task is real estate. Real estate is a hugely important part of the AXA proposition. We have dedicated teams in claims, risk management and underwriting, and we have serious ambitions to grow.
So basically this is a marketing task, one where you're going to have to demonstrate that you understand the proposition and that you understand how we're going to communicate it to our customers. So Ryan and I are both looking forward to seeing your presentations later.
The apprentices have all been given a different angle to introduce their 10-minute pitches, but still have free rein to decide which media channels, further range of key messages and processes they would use, but only 10 minutes to present their pitches. First up is Luke Abbott's Derbyshire, who begins with addressing the sensitive issue of combustible cladding and panelling.
I think potentially my take on actually obtaining new business and securing renewals, making sure the client actually pushes AXA as a product as well. That's something that I feel is going to be quite different, and hopefully the judges recognise that. I propose that AXA facilitates a disaster recovery programme scheme for our clients' tenants. So we are enabling the clients' tenants to have a disaster recovery plan. All these tenants are going to be exposed to AXA because AXA's being fronted by this. AXA providing this disaster recovery plan, as I've got in the diagram there, so the tenants, there's new business opportunities, as I said.
Disaster recovery element?
Yes.
Is that, I was unclear whether that was before or after a loss?
You have the plan before the loss, so we would get brokers to go in to these businesses, these multi-tenant buildings, sit down with all the different tenants and actually take a day or however long it takes to formulate these plans.
Next into the room is Leek Perkins, who opens with the problem of fly tipping.
I've come away from the brief slightly with a more broad focus on risk management rather than just solely concentrating on the individual limits within the policy, so it depends on what everyone else is doing. But I think my ideas are good, it just depends if I've been able to portray the true ideas for what they are. Fly tipping, it's a massively growing problem. It's recently been reported increased by 7% compared to last year, with over 1 million incidences being reported over the last 12 months. And marketing can be a difficult task for many brokers, so the assistants will empower the broker to promote the product. And some ideas of documents would be highlighting topical areas such as fly tipping, for example, how to risk manage this, and the assistance that AXA provides through the rewards and through the product itself. Now the second part of this would be a roadshow. So this basically means that AXA would tour the cities of the country where brokers would come in, and it would be a speed dating style session where specialists come from each individual part of the real estate product, where brokers can come in at their own leisure throughout the day, speak to the individual specialists and find out more about their specialist sector.
One of the things you talked about was how you would try and maximise attendance at the roadshows. Have you given any thought to exactly how you would do that?
Yep, so it's using the BDMs that you currently offer with your regional supply of account managers as well, really using their key connections at brokers already, encouraging them to go out and promote this, but it'll be a full email campaign with videos, also personal invites, so we could really do high quality invites through the post.
Perfect. Thank you.
The third contestant to face the panel is Katie Ellis.
So the topic that I was given was that of the building cost inflation and the adequacy of being of the sums insured. It's all in my head, I know it's in my head, and I know that I do my research and I've really worked hard on this topic and trying to get a presentation together that is going to be good, but I panic. I know I do, so I've got to try and work on that. I've got to be calm. The first thing to look at, and I believe we need to concern ourselves completely with, is the customer journey. This is a timeline in which the customer undertakes from the moment they realise they need to either buy or renew their insurance to when they make their decision of where to place their business. Another point I've mentioned here is social media advertising. As of June 2017, Facebook has 2 billion monthly users. Obviously, AXA's content isn't going to reach everybody, but it's a great way to expand their reach. Another way is by using forums and chat rooms. If you go on specific sites that could be used by commercial property owners and they go on there to find out legal information or how to effectively run their property, AXA could get themselves out there in a number of ways.
You also mentioned that the relationship was important in terms of the relationship between whom?
That would be between us and the brokers, and then the brokers and the policyholders.
When we think about that tripartite piece between the insurer and the broker and the client, how do you think the broker would react to us taking much more presence in the client area, where the client environment, like the websites you talked about, the forums you talked about, and promoting the AXA product in there?
From a broker's perspective, it makes their job easier. We're helping them sell, because they're having to sell the product and get the policyholder to trust that we're going to be able to cover them. So they're having to constantly try and reassure them that that's what we're going to do. By also targeting them and promoting ourselves to them directly, they're getting two forms of advertising. They're being reassured by both parties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chloe Murray is fourth to present her marketing pitch, commencing with a look at vacant property rates.
So I decided to do a costings and expected return slide. So I literally put out the costings for how much all the marketing costs. My idea was a broker's breakfast. So I kind of did how much that would cost and everything, and then any trade shows that we attended, how much that would cost. And I looked at the area. I focused on Manchester because it had the most vacant properties in the UK. Basically, what we would be doing is starting off by sending a mailer to the Manchester insurance brokers, inviting them to a broker's breakfast at the AXA offices. I know mostly marketing is digital now, but I feel that this campaign, it is real good value to have it face to face. We'll be able to go through the scenario and the marketing campaign with them.
So you've got a really good picture of how we're going to raise awareness of this in the broker community. We're going to do the emailer, we're going to do broker breakfasts and webinars. When you look at ongoing to try and maintain the broker in, have you had to think about that?
Yeah, well, initially the face-to-face meeting would be better. As I say, people do buy people, so face-to-face meetings with ourselves would be the best way. But ongoing, then, if we're wanting to branch out to maybe new brokers that we don't have on our books and things at the minute, digitally we could market that to them. Send them the information on an email or other ways that they would digitally receive things like that, and obviously the benefits to them as brokers, why choose us as well, about the commission that they'd get, and we could look at increasing that. So but yeah, it wouldn't obviously be broker's breakfast all the time to market that.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks.
Ryan Ruffin follows next as he seeks to wow the judges with his thoughts on alternative accommodation.
Getting to grips with the product itself, it's obviously quite a varied product, so I had to do quite a bit of research into that, but no major issues when researching it. No, it was fine. I propose to issue electronic flyers to brokers, and alongside this, 2-page advertising spreads in industry publications such as Insurance Age. I've developed a draft flyer here for you to take a look at. This approach can be effective in ensuring the product receives as much promotion as possible. Ultimately, the product should speak for itself, and the benefits to AXA, broker and client should be clearly defined. Face-to-face engagement with brokers at the coalface will ensure that the product is at the forefront of their thinking when placing risks. This forms the main thrust of the campaign and is key to its success.
Why would a broker come?
Well, the marketing strategy itself, you could rejig it so you were sending out information prior to the roadshow. So the likes of the flyer, if you were to send that out with an information pack to brokers prior to these events, get their interest piqued and get them along, I think that could work.
Peter Marizana is the final apprentice, trying to secure the win by sharing his thoughts on escape of water losses.
I'm confident that I did actually take the time to learn the product, and hopefully that shows through today. To be honest, I'm not used to presenting in front of an audience. For the most part, I work in private medical insurance 98% of the time, meaning that it's usually a one-to-one, very personal session with my clients. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Peter, and today I work for AXA. When I snap my fingers, I'm going to hypnotise you, and you're going to go with our product. No, I'm joking. In a second, what I'm going to actually explain to you is our offering in terms of real estate. A lot of people think in terms of flood risk affecting the businesses. What a lot of people don't think about is the damage which can potentially be caused inside of a building. A typical example of this would be, as you can see, in the event of a washing machine leaking, So, in terms of my targeted approach for this particular product, we are going to go right to the source. Rather than us spending millions upon millions on TV advertising, which isn't direct, what I'd suggest we do is that we go directly to who handles 78% of this type of insurance.
I think you mentioned the term commercial clients at one point. Can you just clarify what you meant by that in terms of the escape of water or where the product's target is?
Effectively, I'm talking about what you'd picture in regards to, say, a property developer.
Yeah.
So somebody who doesn't just sort of fly by night, somebody who's got an established book of properties.
The 6 pitches have been delivered, and so the AXA leaders retire to consider who has best met the brief of building a real estate marketing campaign. It is time to reveal the winner of the challenge, and the contestants enter the room to hear who has triumphed.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you very much for your presentations. I think the 2 things that I would note, a lot of hard work went into them. That was really impressive. And all of you understood that this was a task about understanding the proposition and about delivering a marketing campaign to support that. I think what I'd like to have seen more of was around the segmentation and the targeting of specific individuals, because we have capability to do that now, and more about the marketing channels and how these different channels allow us to engage differently with each of our customer groups. But for me, what made the winner, the absolute clear winner, was around the clarity of proposition, the clarity around purpose, and also that they had an actionable marketing plan in place, ready to go. And the winner is Katie.
Katie was amazing during this task. We picked her as the winner primarily because of her clarity around the message under insurance, and then she took that to the next level in terms of the marketing plan. She'd really thought about how the event would work for end customers, and given the length of time that she'd been in the industry, it was a really impressive piece of work.
No, I worked really hard on this, like really hard. I haven't slept all week. But I'm glad that they noticed that I put the effort into the research and defining the problem and then creating a solution for it. So I'm really glad they could see that.
Katie and her fellow apprentices depart to prepare for the all-important one-to-one interview with AXA UK CEO Brendan McCafferty, who will be choosing the ultimate victor. In the next and final episode of Broker Apprentice.
Why did you apply for Broker Apprentice?
I always want to be the best that I can be.
Ryan, when he came into the show, he had high expectations.
When do you think you could have pushed yourself harder?
In all honesty, I don't feel like I could have.
She's only been in the business for 2 months.
I think I led them quite well.
It is decision time now, and the winner is